Get ready for one more sale, inspiring you with ideas through powerful and engaging interviews with top performers of their field. Now, join us as we discuss techniques and strategies of the coolest and most successful people on the planet.
Check out our sponsors, Direct Mortgage Loans. Listen, these guys are committed. They provide outstanding service. I know personally because I work with them. They are also licensed in 22 states, so make sure you check them out and see if they can do work with you. Listen, they not only will take amazing care of your clients, they're based on building lifelong relationships with our buyers, our sellers, as well as us as realtors. They're looking for partners, and they're providing the best resources, training, and knowledge the industry has to offer. So if you're interested in partnering up with somebody that's really innovative, check them out. Their website is directmortgageloans.com, or you can reach them at 888-604-2525. Hey, Masters, welcome to One More Sale, Path to Mastery Podcast. Here we are at episode number 30, and we're bringing you, as always, the best of the best. And this week, we're talking about confidence. I don't know about you, but I can always use a little extra confidence. So we brought in Trish Blackwell, who's an author, podcast host. Her podcast is called Confidence on the Go, and she has an amazing book called Insecurity, DETOX. She talks to us about confidence being a choice by starting with knowing who you are, and that we really have control of only a couple things, and one being ourselves and being present in the moment, which is awesome. And she shares some amazing strategies, tools, tips, in ways that are going to help you become more confident, whether you're looking for confidence in sales or just simply in life. So it's an amazing interview. I've listened to it multiple times. I encourage you to do the exact same thing. Hey, and if you love it, guys, share it. And then go to iTunes and give us a review, because it really, really helps our listenership. So again, I want to thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you have a tremendous, confident rest of your day. Welcome back to One More Sale, Path to Mastery. And as always, I am bringing you guys the best of the best. And nothing short today, we have Trish Blackwell, who is an expert on, guys, get this, confidence. Okay, she's got a podcast called Confidence on the Go. She's been doing it for about 4 years, and it's awesome. I check out the episodes myself. It's just amazing. Hey, what's up, Trish?
Hey, David. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I love talking about confidence, so to get to share with you and a new way to apply it. I'm stoked.
Yeah, awesome. Well, first off, before we jump into that, tell us, how did you get started? Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. Fill in some of the blanks.
Sure. So, okay, the short story is, grew up All-American girl, All-American athlete, competed in college, competed internationally a little bit. And during that time as this high-level, all-achieving athlete and student, behind the scenes, I was actually desperately insecure, wanted my body to be perfect, never felt like it was, wanted, perfect, great, wanted everything to be perfect, wanted, the typical, I was told to achieve. And so I did, and I wanted to do it athletically, academically, and socially. And so behind the scenes, actually, during that time, I had a 10-year-long eating disorder, and it just broke me. And when I finally found freedom and, went to therapy and got counseling and, actually living in France, which I wrote my first book about, changed my life and changed my understanding actually of this whole, it's what started me on this journey of confidence. Because for me, it started with insecurity about my body. My body fat was 1% too high or something ridiculously trivial. Well, in France, in French, there's no way to say really. They don't really say colloquially oh, she's really confident, the way we would, in English. Instead, they would say to be bien dans sa peau, and that was this groundbreaking concept to me. I went, whoa, to be bien dans sa peau means to be well in your skin. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I'm missing. So interesting that for me, I had to not be well in my skin to learn that that's what I actually wanted. I wanted confidence. I wanted to learn how to be well in my skin. And then I've relayed that into all these other areas of my life. And after France, after this big aha, and I was kind of free from my eating disorder and body image dysmorphia, I moved back to the United States and got involved in the fitness industry. And I was in the fitness industry and still am, of course, but for about 8 years before I realized, wait, I'm helping lots of people. But and I'm helping people who want to lose 100 pounds, and I'm helping people who want to put on muscle, and I'm helping people who want to lose 5 pounds. The workouts were all different, but the same message and the mind training that was what really made the difference was the same. And it was that I found over and over, no matter how successful people became or how they were when they started, they were all needing the same thing. They needed confidence. They needed someone to say like, hey, let's rewrite the thinking. Like the reason people backslide or self-sabotage or never quite get to that next level of success in their fitness goals or in their business goals is self-sabotage. It's self-limiting thoughts and self-doubt and fear, and all that's insecurity, but we just don't call it what it is. We call it insecurity.
Yeah.
Like we call it like, oh, I'm just a perfectionist. That's why I'm so hard on myself, or, oh, that goal's good, but like, no, I need to be higher. Like we don't know how to live and just be, And so that's really what got me into starting this realm of confidence coaching. And it just morphed into a business and a podcast and my full-time job now.
That's awesome. So talk to us. I mean, first off, we can all relate to that. I'm sure every listener on this podcast right now is in some way relates to what you just said, maybe showing up and on the outside, it's looking like you're confident, but on the inside, there's maybe a different mindset or a different thought process going on. So first off, I mean, we have a lot of salespeople listening to my podcast. So that's why I knew it was the perfect audience.
Yeah.
Because, you know this probably as well as anybody, but when you're sitting across the table from somebody and you're trying to sell them a product, they can sense if there's a confidence coming from you or not, right?
Yep.
But tell me, who is your main audience?
Well, first off, I want to tell you, I love sales. Love it. Personal training is sales, I'll get to that. But my main audience would really be, it's fine-tuned itself into perfectionists. And I found that perfectionism in sales, so for about a 5-year period in my career in the fitness industry, I managed and trained personal trainers and personal trainer sales and, millions of dollars of sales and teaching, brand new to the field trainers who didn't have the confidence to take somebody through a workout, asking them how to get someone to say, yeah, you need to pay me $100 an hour and I will change your body. It takes a lot for a brand new trainer who just passed their certification test to have the confidence to sit down across the table from somebody and really believe that what you're providing can change someone's life and be the answer that they're looking for. And I found that my trainers among, in general, stereotype are very much perfectionists, it's like we get down into that, let's fix that 1% of body fat that we don't like, or let's fine tune that workout so precisely that we can say we have the absolute best programming. And all that's well said and good, but sometimes trainers limit themselves in their own growth because they want more of themselves first before they help someone. And the reality is you only have to be one step ahead of somebody to help someone. So as far as sales and confidence in sales, it is everything. And I will tell you, the thing I miss the most about my old career is just that, David. It's getting and sitting with my staff of trainers and getting them to believe that they're there to serve and love people, and that's it. And if they do that and they do it confidently and they're just confidently themselves, that confidence is magnetizing. People will be so drawn to you that they want to buy from you. Nobody wants to be sold to, but everybody wants to buy. And so it's a confident person knows how to manage that relationship and make it so that people feel like, wait, how can I get more of being around you and your service? Because you make me feel so good, so listened to, so paid attention to. And it's not about the sale then, it's about that human relationship. But in order to have that type of really authentic connection with someone, it has to be about the other person. And if you're wasting any time with any insecurity, any thoughts, any fear about the sale, that authentic relationship can't happen.
What a great point. That's brilliant. Going back to perfectionism, because it's interesting when you talk about a perfectionist as being your
primary market.
Primary audience. Primary market. Yeah, let me try to think of words for that.
I know.
I mean, it really encompasses everybody, right? So everybody in sales. But wouldn't it be like you'd have kind of the opposite thought? Like, okay, if they're a perfectionist, then they would be confident, right? Isn't that kind of the misnomer?
It seems counterintuitive, and it's really not, though. And I feel like I was this perfect walking example of that. In fact, my mom, when I finally told her about all my eating disorder issues and that I was, my most recent book's on insecurity. It's called Insecurity, DETOX, and it shares a lot of stories from my childhood. And my mom was like, she actually laughed. She went, wait, am I reading about the same child that I raised? Because she raised a happy, confident, and I was a happy, confident, very successful kid and young adult. But I also put a lot of effort into making sure the world around me thought that. And so it's like this really interesting, we expect that people who are shy or quiet, we're like, oh, they need confidence. Not necessarily. It has nothing to do with a personality issue. It has everything to do with what's going on in your thought life, what you've been told, words of affirmation, who you're trying to make happy. It's really an interesting psychological journey. And what I love about confidence is that people think, oh, you're either born with it or not. It's a choice. It's a daily choice to wake up and choose confident thoughts, and confident thoughts they're not egotistical. It's confidence starts in knowing who you are and knowing that you are enough. And if you can let that go, then you can actually spend your time and your energy loving others and being present and, focusing on the world around you.
So let me jump in there for a second, not to interrupt you. So I wanted to, when you say choose to be confident, like, what does that look like? Tell our listeners. Let's hear that.
Yeah, that's a great question. So it means that, one, acknowledge that confidence is a trainable trait, that it's a way that you can neurologically rewire your brain, that you're choosing to see that, first off, the world's not about you. Like, I think we get so insecure and we get in our way and we get overwhelmed with fear, self-doubt, because we're obsessed about thinking about what other people might think about us, right? Or like, oh, I don't want to push that sale too hard because what if they think I'm pushy? Like, here's the thing, like, no one actually thinks that much about us like we think that they think about us, like, so that there is freeing. But then also, like, choosing confidence daily means choosing to say, like, all right, I'm not giving in to insecurity. I'm recognizing which thought patterns of mine are toxic, which ones lead me down the wrong rabbit holes. And I'm choosing to really be present in life. I'm choosing to have purpose and clarity and to serve others. Whatever you decide your main purpose is. And mine is, like, I've just found one word for myself, and it's love. If I just focus on loving people, then I'm confident. Like, maybe it's serving, maybe it's, I don't know what that word would be for somebody, but you go back to what your, so to speak, why, your why. What is your why to existing? What is your why to stepping up every day? And you go back to that. You can say, okay, like, sometimes we lose our confidence because we don't think we're ever doing enough. But if you know that you do that, all that you need to do is that one thing, it takes the pressure off. And you can say, I am doing enough. And confidence also, it's standing tall. Like, it's easy when you don't feel good about yourself or you're having a bad day to slouch or to let grumpy thoughts get in your mind. And that's when you just say, oh, whoa, this is not how a confident person acts. Like, a confident person carries themselves well. They breathe deeply. They hold their chin up. A confident person, like, choosing confidence is looking someone in the eye and being the first person to say hello. Because let's be honest, like, I grew up in the South and I'm not living in the South right now. And it stinks. Like, you grew up in the South, you think everybody says hello to everybody because that's just how people are. It's not how people are. I think we're desperate for human connection. And so a confident person is going to initiate those things, and a confident person cares more about other people than they care about themselves in a really just loving way.
I want to talk to you about a routine, because I know this is something that I deal with, and a lot of people I know. I coach salespeople. It sounds easy when you say, well, this is what you need to do and this is what you should do. But what you should do and what we actually do are two separate things, right? We get that. So for me, it's really about routine. So I have a routine. I wake up at the same time, 5 a.m. every morning, or 4:57, my meditation, say my prayers, I read my affirmations, I'm at the gym by 6. I have to do that. Right? And then it just leads into the rest of my day. How important is that? And what would you say to our listeners?
Oh my gosh, it's absolutely everything. And I would say, so my confidence habits, I'm up same time, 6:30 every day. I do 5 sunset salutations. I get up, I do my gratitude journal. I have my Bible reading. I do my workout. And now I have a 1-year-old. So some of this time, depending, sometimes can change, depending upon her needs. But pretty much I know by 8 a.m., all of those things need to be done. And it's game changing. If I don't do those things, I'm off,
I'd love to hear like a challenge, like a really challenging story where you worked with someone who was really struggling and you kind of helped them or gave them some tools to kind of break through. Do you have any stories you can think of?
Absolutely. So there's this one girl who I just adore, and she came to me for help specifically about just being able to speak up for herself. She was very social, very outgoing, well-liked, extremely successful. High level in medical field. All around perfectionist, beautiful life, great relationship, everything's good. Except when she told me the truth, she said, Trish, like, the problem is like, I second guess myself all the time. And I always want other people to make the decision first. Like if there's a preference as a group of friends, I never actually, like, I want tacos, but I'm never actually going to say I want tacos. Or I always feel like I'm holding people up. I never want to inconvenience other people. Like she was just classic people pleaser. And so some of the strategies we did were so fun. Like I just loved working with her because she wanted to break free from this people pleasing trap of insecurity. And what we did is I made her go to public restrooms. She had to do it like in a week span. She had to do this 5 different times because she didn't want to inconvenience people. So she would have to pick the largest stall. I said, I don't care if you need to go to the bathroom or not, but you're going to pick the largest stall in the busiest bathroom you can find. And you're going to just go stand in the stall or sit on the toilet, whatever you want, for 5 minutes. I go, put the timer on your phone, and I want you have to let go of what people might be thinking about you. Oh, shoot, who's that? Because you're in line, a long line, you're like, what's that person doing in that stall? Like, it was mortifying for her, but so freeing. I also made her go to a Starbucks, and I said, all right, girl, here's what you're going to do. You're going to put your order in, and then before you pay, you're going to say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Can I change that order? This is something this is like her worst nightmare, having to do something like this. Change her order to the barista 3 times.
I love that.
And then so it was so interesting, like how small things, like it's like we can shift some of the things, like we each know, like, where is it that I'm not speaking up for myself? Where is it that I'm letting like some of this insecurity or fear speak out? And like just addressing it where it is. Those were easy examples, but for my people who struggle with confidence and just in stepping outside their comfort zone, you've got these I work with a lot of entrepreneurs of all sorts of types, and a lot of the ceiling that's holding entrepreneurs back is not that they're not capable. It's because they have small dreams. And so my job with them is to take that dream and say, well, first off, it needs to be 10x that. And here's how you're going to get there. And then it becomes a practice of, I know you're scared and I know you're afraid you can't do that because you're a perfectionist and you have to set goals that you achieve. But here's the thing, we're going to set those because we're going to fall in an amazing spot. And so what I do with them is we do what I like to call, channeling our Eleanor Roosevelt, is doing one thing every day that scares you. So I have them literally keep a dialogue in a diary with me of, all right, you've got 14 days. I don't care what it is that scares you, but you're going to do 14 different things that scare you. Because if we become accustomed to knowing that we can stand up and lean into fear, then when we feel that fear, it's not going to be so scary. And that's where you're going to have that confidence to press through. And honestly, in sales is scary. And so if you can just go and like lean into it and be like, this is great. I can check this off my list today. I've done something that scares me. Hey, I presented, like, I really, I was really proactive in this. And typically I would have been like more reactive. Good, that scares you. It can be something so big, or calling in for a radio station for a giveaway. It's funny, like fear just manifests itself so many small different ways in our lives. So you start paying attention to what scares you, it has less power.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It's, interesting listening to you too. It sounds to me like what you're doing is you're almost conditioning people, right?
Yes.
You're saying, okay, take these things that you're scared of, that you're fearful for, and just start doing them. And eventually it's kind of like, when this is I've done my 28th interview. I've probably done 40 interviews, but I've got 28 episodes. The first couple of podcasts, I'm a public speaker, I'm a trainer. I'm like nervous, you know what I mean? I'm like doing these interviews and like, what do I say? And I'm talking to these people that are like authors, best-selling authors. And anyway, now here I am. And, I've come a long way with it. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I don't think about it, but the fact that I've just done it so many times now, there's a better flow to it.
Sure.
So, thinking about what you said, I was listening to one of your episodes yesterday on showing up. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
And you talked about really being present. And that's something that I always, when I work with people, I think the key is being present. How important is being present? And you even mentioned it earlier in this interview. Talk about being present.
Oh my gosh. It really, it is everything. So in speaking to perfectionism or insecurity, those two things do, perfectionism and insecurity, they shackle us to the past or they launch us into the future. It's really hard to live in the present when you're consumed with what's going to happen or what just happened or what someone might think of you, things that are uncontrollable. What we do have in our control is ourselves and the present moment. Okay, so if you can be confident in that, then that's like a better example. All right, if you think about the last time you had fun, like you were present. Like I just think for me, I think about like, I don't know, skipping with my daughter, running, playing soccer, like super fun, surfing, snowboarding. Last time I was snowboarding, oh my gosh, like the time disappears, right? Like I can be so present. I'm also so confident. Like I feel so, when you're having fun and it's truly fun, that's fun for you, it's really hard not to feel confident. So like when people say, oh, I don't have any confidence, I'm like, I want you to think about the last time you had fun. Were you confident? Like 99% chance you felt pretty freaking confident. So it's like, okay, so confidence and presence, being able to be present in the moment, they're best friends. Like that being confident will tie you to that. And it's crazy what can happen when you're like, I don't know. I just think we make ourselves sick. I mean, we make ourselves sick with anxiety and stress and worrying about what's going to happen, living in that future, or beating ourselves up for what we didn't do or what we could have done or what we should have done in the past. And I speak to it because, listen, I know this struggle firsthand. Like I am the poster child for having done it wrong a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Like, and so like, I'm like, I certainly haven't mastered this, but I get these pockets of freedom where I'm like, whoa, this is life.
You are listening to One More Sale.
Let me ask you this. When it comes to being present, I talk about it all the time as well. I absolutely love it. And it's not something that you can easily articulate. Like, this is how to be present. In your opinion, if I said, Trish, how does somebody be present? What are you going to say? What's your answer?
My answer would be grateful. And just this morning, to be honest, I was trying to do some business and my 1-year-old is running around and all she wanted was my presence. So I stopped everything. I was thinking, I can just shoot off an email while she's playing with her toy. No, like I sat in the middle of our living room and just was present. And now in my mind, I wanted to do like 10 other things. And for me to be able to be great, like really confidently present, I looked and I found 5 things that I was just overwhelmed with gratitude about my daughter, or looking at, and I'm like, wow, I can do that. I'm a mompreneur who can be at home with her 1-year-old. Like, that's amazing. Trish, sit on the stinking floor for 15 minutes and do nothing. This is the gift,
That's the key right there. That ability to kind of shut all that other stuff off, right? And just be present with your daughter.
Yeah. And for me, it was, I have to go to, what am I grateful about right now in this moment? List out 5 things in your mind. And then that gets me to kind of disconnect from all the to-do list.
That's awesome. So let me ask you this. What's the biggest challenge or our listeners are going to deal with when it comes to confidence?
I think over-personalizing it, thinking that you're the only person that struggles with it. I think it's really freeing to go, wait, everybody feels like this? Like, or like the same things, particularly with sales. Like, okay, if I'm going to be confident in sales, then I need to realize that sales is just a numbers game. Like, I have control over a good portion of it, for sure. But at the end of the day, I can depersonalize the rejection by just reminding myself, did you serve someone? Did you educate them? Did you empower them? Did they not want to work with you? No problem. If you did what you were meant to do, then you can walk away confidently and move on to the next person. I think knowing that you're going to get setbacks, I think, is also really helpful.
So knowing your numbers, knowing you're going to get setbacks, and absolutely, and just realizing, hey, you did everything you could, and it's really about, okay, next, who else can I help?
Yeah.
And the reality is, as a sales trainer, you just can't win everybody. That's just the way it is. It's a numbers game. And when we accept that and we don't take it personal, that's when we can move on with confidence to the next person. Right. So let me ask you this, Trish. You're the confidence expert. How do you deal with it when, like, let's say you're just having one of those days, man? You get up, it's the wrong side of the bed, and what do you do?
Well, I had one of those the other day, actually. One of my businesses that I am involved in does involve some sales still. And I'll tell you, it was like the worst, just everything flowing back in your face, and everything that I'd built. I'd planted seeds for months for a couple different projects at one time, and they all combusted on the same day. And I was pissed. And so I think it was okay just to be like, all right, Trish, you get to throw yourself a pity party for 5 minutes. Like, acknowledge it. Like, it's okay to be like frustrated. It's okay to say, I'm having an off day. Now I'm grumpy. And now I'm feeling like, woe is me. Like, like we go to this like childish mindset. I totally said, I told my husband, I'm like, I feel like I'm being childish right now. He said, good, give yourself 2 more minutes, then you're done. I said, I'm in. And I think it's sometimes just acknowledging it, laughing at it, and saying, okay, now it's a fresh slate. Now going back to saying, like, I'm not the person who I used to be, who would dwell on this. Every day I'm becoming a better version of myself. And so I'm going to seize that as truth. No, I don't feel like seize. Sometimes it's like I have to let the emotions go and say, look, you don't feel like doing this right now, but you're going to choose to do it. Go to your gratitude journal. Go to, put on a song that's going to lift your spirits. Choose the right thoughts, Trish. Like you don't have to jump on these thoughts that are coming through your head. Choose the right ones you want to get to the destination that you want to. It's okay to give yourself a little break, 5 minutes, but then you step on and move on and say, like, hey, the old me would have been somebody that would have let this ruin my day, but I'm growing every day and developing in new ways. That's not how I'm going to live from here on out.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, I know sometimes as hard as I try, I've had just those days. I've had bad days. I wish I could say I could shut it down in 5 minutes. I'm not always able to do that. So, how common is that? I mean, is it okay to just say, hey, you know what? I had a bad day, but today you'll wake up the next day?
Yeah, when it's a long day, yeah. Let's talk about like the fact that I love that I'm a confidence coach and I still have to choose confidence daily. Yeah, like, and there are some days I just say it's everything just needs to shut down. Like, it's okay to have a day off. And that to me typically means I've overextended myself in a lot of other ways. If I'm really breaking down, it means I need to turn off my phone, not open my laptop, and literally go for a walk, or just let myself put a chick flick on. Something just so like I need to disengage and unplug and recharge my batteries, or I need to get like 10 hours of sleep that night. I know I just need to shut everything down and just recharge my emotional batteries as well.
Love it. Trish, what's the difference between today and the Trish from 4 years ago, if there's one thing?
Oh my gosh. Just more, I've got more repetitions of the same thing. So some of these new neurological tracks that I'm laying down are just a little bit deeper grooves. So it's easier now for me to choose some of these empowering thoughts and lifestyle choices, but they still need to deepen. I got some work to do for sure.
Now, is that because you've been doing it for the last 4 years? Is that why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So for our listeners, give us three things. So these are the three top things you need to start doing today in order to work on your confidence. And what are they?
I would say gratitude journal is key.
Okay.
Just jot down 5 things that you're grateful for, 5 to 15 things. It could be the smell of coffee or someone's profound role in your life. I mean, it could be small or huge. I really believe in the power of compliments. If you can compliment 15 people a day, you're starting to train speaking words of affirmation, speaking words of life, speaking words of truth and positivity out there. It's going to be much easier if you hear the words that you're saying to other people. One, that's magnetic, and it's going to make people want to be more responsive to you. People are going to want to be around you. That alone is going to make you feel more confident. You know what I mean? You're going to be the person people want to be around. It's hard not to feel good about yourself when people make an effort to be around you. But then also you're going to be hearing yourself say those things, and your mind then makes it easier in your own self-talk to say that kind of language back to yourself. Those are 2. And then the third one, I really believe in the power of doing 5 minutes of stretching. And I'll tell you what, David, I am somebody who struggles to slow down. Oh, it's like the worst. I hate waking up and doing my stretches. I hate it the first 20 seconds. After that, I'm like, I should just stretch all day. I'm like, this is the best thing ever. That first 20 seconds, I just got to get over it. Because, I want to just get going with my day. That's my personality type. But the slowing down to make 5 minutes of time for your body to breathe and oxygenate and feel tall, it connects you emotionally with your body. But more than that, gives you the confidence to say to yourself, I'm actually in charge of my day. I got so much to do today. But you know what I have? I have 5 minutes, but first for my body to be at its best.
So important, so important.
Yeah.
And what's the question that you get asked most? Or what's the question I forgot to ask you that I should have asked you?
What do I get asked most? I'm so overwhelmed. I have so much, this vision that you're painting that life can be seems so far. I don't know where to start. How do you start? So the answer to that is you just start somewhere. You start with changing one habit, one thought pattern. Focus on whether it's fear or perfectionism, or actually you start with saying, if it's that you actually believe that you can change, or that, you can find joy and confidence in whatever angle your life you're thinking about it, but that it's possible to reconstruct your thoughts and your thinking and train your brain.
Love it, my friend. And you have a book coming out as well. You want to tell us about your book and then how we can get in touch with you?
I do. It's actually out. It's called Insecurity DETOX, and it's 30 ways to rejuvenate your mind, your body, and your spirit. And basically, it's a book that you don't have to read cover to cover. You can pick it up and read it almost like as a handbook. So there's a chapter there are 30 chapters, one on each type of insecurity that I could identify. So if you're feeling overcome with fear, there's a chapter on that. And it's got 3 detoxes in that chapter itself for your mind, your body, and your spirit. If it's perfectionism you want to detox, there's a chapter for that. So it's a really good go-to. And so you can get that at insecurityDetox.com or any bookstore, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any bookstore there's around. And then people can connect with me at TrishBlackwell.com. I also have a free roadmap to confidence that's a sort of like a weekly tool that you can kind of just 5 minutes, jot down some objectives to set your week up for success. And you can get that for free at trishblackwell.com/roadmap.
Trish, you brought this on yourself. I have to ask, what is the most common insecurity now?
The most common one I get is not being enough. And that manifests itself differently. Sometimes I don't, some people, women, a lot of women, I'm not pretty enough. Men, I'm not successful enough. I'm not, you can go socially, I'm not likable enough.
Yeah.
Not funny enough. Yeah. Not enough. Inadequacy of some sort.
And does that come from a lot of times people comparing themselves to others?
Oh yeah. We didn't even talk about comparison. That is our enemy. Yes. Comparison is the enemy. But yeah, for sure. A lot of that's rooted in comparison.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to have our readers listeners go pick up your book and register on your site as well.
Awesome.
And final question, Trish, is what is the one thing you want our listeners to take from this interview?
Oh my gosh. I want them to take away knowing that they are unique. They have something amazing to be confident about that no one else in the world can be confident about. It's only unique to them, and that they can go into, even if they don't know what that is yet, just that is there. And to go stop comparing themselves to other people and just go be themselves.
Love it. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. All right. It's been awesome.
Yeah, David, thank you. Oh my gosh, my pleasure.
If you love podcasts, I'm certain you're going to love audiobooks. And Audible.com is the world's largest platform of audiobooks. If you're interested in checking out the book we talked about today for free in audio, just go to davidsfreebook.com. Yes, again, davidsfreebook.com will get you a free 30-day trial on Audible. And don't forget to check out our sponsors, Direct Mortgage Loans, at www.directmortgageloans.com, or feel free to give them a call, 888-604-2525. And don't forget to mention Path to Mastery.
You are listening to One More Sale with your host, David I. Hill, author of the Sales Playbook. Get your copy at www.thesalesplaybook.net.